Hey guys, how's it going? It is my different username here, and today we are bringing back a modern firearm that was made to show just how much reduction can be made to a shotgun to the point where there's virtually no recoil, but still can leave plenty of devastation downrange. Here, we have the AA-12 automatic shotgun made out of Lego. So, the AA-12 or the Auto Assault 12 is the shotgun concept originally created by Maxwell Atchison back in the year of 1972, but had eventually sold the rights of the weapon over to another engineer by the name of Jerry Baber of Military Police Systems Incorporated in 1987. And since then, the design has constantly been worked over until it was completely finalized and made a reappearance once more in 2005. And it was from the beginning always meant to be a weapon designed for military use, being limited to only fully automatic, and has been seen in a plethora of movies, video games, and even online videos. As of now though, the weapon has only made its way into a few military contracts overseas with countries such as India, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. Overall, the AA-12 is a pretty basic looking weapon and lacks in the details, but I'm still going to go into depth with this weapon as much as I can, and to start off, let's talk about the pistol grip design. Here we can see the pistol grip, which was built to be a more ergonomic style of grip and is built to be 4 studs wide, while the shell of the gun is in 5, which really is kind of a small detail and really isn't noticeable at first glance. Another small detail is the fact that the trigger guard portion of the grip even has a slanting effect in the front that narrows from 4 studs into 2 using some angled bricks, which creates a more comfortable feel for the pointer finger and thumb when holding this grip. Above that, we have the fire selector of the gun, which only actuates either the safety or fire mode, meaning there is no semi-auto setting, so using your own trigger finger is the only way of controlling your firing rate when using this weapon. At least that is in real life. On my model, the fire selector is just for show and doesn't have an effect on the trigger whatsoever. Another part to point out is this alignment bar built into the frame as well as into the grip for more stability when holding certain magazines. Magazines such as this box magazine that can hold up to 8 rounds of 2 3/4 inch 12 gauge shells, and the magazine is capable of holding any type of shell that fits within that length. It could be double-aught buckshot like we see here between this Lego version and the real life counterpart, which I have to give kudos to Nick Brick for making a really good shotgun shell design. On the real model, this spent shell has little ridges along the side, which is actually portrayed beautifully by the Lego cylindrical geared style piece. It's a pretty small detail that I don't think anyone else would really even notice or consider, but I wanted to show it off regardless. And another consideration of ammo can be this mock slug shell that doesn't have any ridges but shows just how much modularity can be applied to this weapon and magazine for different styles of use. Besides all that, the magazine is pretty simplistic, but has very specific details built into it, such as these notches on the back, as well as this guide in the back, which allows the magazine to slide perfectly into the magwell, where from that point, it can be manually locked into place. Now, moving upward, we can cover the bolt for the gun, and this bolt is one of the most important aspects to the shotgun concept. It's a heavy bolt running at 3 studs in width and 18 in length, so a really powerful rubber band is needed in order to properly cycle this bolt. And the charging handle in the front runs off of a manual cocking system, meaning it won't reciprocate forward whenever it's released, and this bolt operates on an open bolt system, meaning that when the charging handle pulls the bolt back far enough, it will lock into place. And from this point, the bolt can either be picked up on its own, or you could pull the trigger, which sends the bolt into battery and essentially fire this weapon like the real gun. I based this mechanism from my Lego Uzi video and essentially upscaled it in order to work with the AA-12, which basically is an oversized Uzi design. And another small detail on this is that when you charge the bolt back, you can even see the shell in the magazine on the inside of the port, which I thought was a really good touch. If we move back here, we could take a look at the stock piece, which houses the internal spring system and essentially is the system that actually takes away around 90% of the felt recoil in the gun. Besides that, the overall shape is pretty huge and really smooth at the same time. It even features a small plate on the back filled with multiple grill pieces just to really add some texture to the plate. On the other side of the stock, we have a small mosaic of pieces that help to spell out AA-12 just as it is depicted on the real shotgun. It's not exactly perfect to the type of font used on the real one, but I do still really like how this turned out, and it's actually one of my favorite aspects of the shotgun build. Lastly, on the top of the stock we have a small sling mount as well as one located on the front sight, and some of you will probably notice that I've used the exact same technique here from my Lego M16 video, and basically I didn't hear any complaints when it came to modifying my pieces when I made the sling mounts then, so I figured I'd just do it again. hopefully it's fine still. Either way, this shotgun can take a sling as seen here, and it's pretty long to say the least, but at the same time, it's also perfect because this gun isn't really meant to be thrown onto your back when not in use, but instead to help actually stabilize and wrap around your shoulder when in use. But I've never really liked the look of my models with slings on them, so I'll just keep it off for the rest of this video. So here in the front, we can see the handguard for the shotgun, which holds a few little parts on both of the sides, which are used for the disassembly on the real gun, and in between those is the texture grip for the handguard itself. And I try to make it resemble the actual texture as well as possible, with around 88 of these 1x2 ridged brick pieces. But beyond this, we have what is supposed to be the stainless steel barrel for the gun with surrounding front plate, and there's not really much to do with functionality here, but this piece here is technically a part of the front post sight, so I figured we can move on to talking about those. We've already taken a look at the front post sight in the beginning, but we never took a good look at the sling mount portion of it, which back when I designed it was actually supposed to come in light blue gray color, but apparently those pieces don't actually exist, so instead I got some dark blue gray pieces, and now these are the mounting pieces that you see for the rail part. And honestly, it doesn't look all that bad, but it would have been nice to have the entire front post sight within the same shade of color. And here we have the rear sight that features an aperture that is closed in between these two earpieces on the sides. And this was more of a stylistic choice, but I purposely wanted to make the two sights have black parts in them, so that way when I aim it down, it is a lot more recognizable to know exactly what is lining up. And these sights both stand up really high above the shotgun, which really does give this gun the iconic look that I think we're all used to seeing. But there actually exists other models of the AA-12 that feature no sights but have the replacement of a Picatinny rail system where the standard rear sight would normally be located. Regardless, I still wanted to feature the standard iron sights for my weapon. So, in conclusion, the AA-12 was an interesting build to get back into after not building anything that was like it after 6 years, and honestly, after making this video, it really reminded me of just how cool the AA-12 is. This particular gun can apparently be mounted onto hammer unmanned defense systems. There's even going to be a civilian model made available around December 2018, and you can even do this with the gun for some reason, I guess. But anyway, with all that said, let's see what this thing can really do. Alright, it wouldn't just feel right to end the video right here, and I wouldn't think it'd be a real AA-12 video as well if it didn't have this. Here we have the LEGO 20 round drum magazine specifically built for the Auto-Assault 12. Man, where do I even start? I guess maybe with just how I really never thought I'd be actually holding this in my hands right now. When I first made a design for this, I almost came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to be able to make this for the video because the parts that I used either didn't exist or they were just simply too expensive. But luckily, I was saved by the fact that I bought my dad this LEGO Ideas set for Father's Day and, well, he actually never opened it. So yeah, I ended up using the multiple parts from the set, like the 1x1 and the 1x2 plates, as well as the window pane, and with the collection of all those parts, I was actually able to make this translucent backplate here. And on the inside, you could somewhat see all of the 20 different shells laid out in almost a completely circular form. As well, you can even see the giant gear on the inside that would normally rotate all of the shells counterclockwise. Besides all of that, the drum mag was simple to make and was built in as much of a circular shape as I could possibly make, while also keeping the design within the snot format. And just like the other 8-round magazine used earlier, this magazine can accept other types of 12-gauge shells, which can really make the AA-12 a devastating weapon to behold. So with that said, let's test this out. So guys, subscribe if you want to see more epic LEGO creations made later in the future, like, favorite, and comment if you guys have enjoyed, and, as always, thanks for watching! I really wish I was kidding about the dad part, but I wasn't. I really wasn't.